need bourbon for my blues, a special love to set the mood, hearts and hearts that we must choose. So I'm killing bourbon for my blues. Times are tough and love is rare, with a broken heart, with an empty stare. Inspiration, what it takes. Liquid love to break the hate. I need a home where I get in. From a saint I turn to sin. My sorrows drown, I drink it down. How many days I'm giving praise. I need bourbon for my blues. The only way to win is lose. A poison hearts that we must choose. So I'm killing bourbon for my blues. Wreck my dreams, wreck my life. Wreck my body, lose my wife. Price I pay to sing the saddest song. Bleeding hearts are bleeding out until it's all long gone. There's a demon, she is tempting me. Gives me a thirst so desperately. And now I just can't seem to stop this train. I crash myself into a river of pain. I need bourbon for my blues, a special love to set the mood, poison hearts that we must choose. So I'm killing bourbon for my blues. I need bourbon for my blues. If I drink enough, I'll make the news. For this guitar I will abuse. I think it's time to turn me loose.
And welcome to another edition of Off the Cuff on the Bluff. I'm your host, Dean Franklin. It's going to be a little bit different tonight. I did the pre-interview with Kevin this morning, who is the attorney for a lady who took her Mercedes 3100 to Mercedes of Collierville, and she'd gotten some bad gas. The car idled real bad on the interstate. It had to be towed to Mercedes of Collierville back in December. And sometime in January, a technician decided that he would impress somebody and take the car to J. Alexander's, and then later drinks at TJ Mulligan's in Cordova. It's a true story, and there's a whole lot more to it than just that. It's crazy. So there's a few things different about tonight. Like I said, I'm going to air the pre-recorded podcast. I'll stop it every once in a while and interject my thoughts and some other things about it. But the first thing that I want to do before I continue, Kevin was telling me that Zanetta Lowe is the one that broke the story, doing some investigative work on it, and is doing a deeper dive into this story because of some of the things that have happened. I see the chats. I see the chat. I can't respond here back on Facebook because you can only respond to a page and not a profile. So I see you, Mike Parsons. Greetings. So the first thing I'm going to do is play the WRAG Channel 3 from Zanetta Lowe speaking with the victim in this crime.
It's big here. People steal cars all the time, so I never thought it was someone from Mercedes.
No one ever wants to be a victim of a car theft, but it's a sad reality for many in our community. But what about when your vehicle is taken by someone who claims they have a right to be in your ride?
Chief Consumer Investigator Zanetta Lowe has details about a bizarre case that ended in criminal charges and raises questions about repairs for all of us.
Her nickname is Onyx.
I love cars.
Kimberly Porter is one of those people who doesn't play about her ride. She keeps it clean, takes care of it. But back in December, she ran into some trouble with her C300 AMG.
I got bad gas. I got gas and my car started idling on the interstate.
That was the second week of December. Porter's car was towed to Collierville Mercedes and was still in for repair more than a month later on January 16th when she noticed something strange.
I was at home in the bed and got a notification from my GPS that my car was moving.
Porter said she didn't think much of it. Maybe something was wrong with the app. That's until she received another notification.
But it started moving at 7:00 p.m. on a Friday night.
Her tracker's position history showed her car on the street by Collierville Mercedes until 5:59 p.m. Then Cordova some 2 hours later. Just before 8:30, the location shows 2670 North Germantown Parkway. That's the address for J. Alexander's.
So then it pinged again at 12:14 at TJ Mulligan's. And that's when I got up out of the bed and drove to TJ Mulligan's in my loaner vehicle. And my car was sitting there.
You got up out of your bed?
Yes.
After midnight?
Yes.
What were you thinking as it's pinging?
I'm thinking somebody stole my car from Mercedes.
In the parking lot of TJ Mulligan's on Houston Levee, roughly 14 miles away from Mercedes-Benz of Collierville, Porter sees her car. She used the spare key to unlock it, then called police.
They unlocked it, asked me if a coat that was inside was mine. I said no, so they took it out, and the gentleman's ID was inside of the coat pocket, his passport.
That's when Porter said she got her first clue about who was driving her car.
One of the police officers was like, I know this guy. He works at Mercedes. And I instantly got pissed.
Because that's when reality set in. It wasn't a thief who'd stolen her car from the dealership after all, but rather someone at the dealership who'd taken her car.
I'm going to pause it right there for a second. Now, Mercedes has their own tracking app built into the that you can get when you buy a Mercedes. She had another tracker app program, and it's called let's see, it is called Recover, it's spelled capital R, ECOV capital R. And I'll talk more about it here shortly. But let's continue Kimberly's story.
So you're telling me that there's a worker at Mercedes driving my car? So they forced me to get back in my loaner vehicle. I had to sit there until they went inside to bring him out, and they brought him out in handcuffs.
Porter said the technician told police he had permission to drive her car, but she says when MPD called a service manager, he said that wasn't true.
He said, no, he's not supposed to be in your car. And so I said, yes, I would like to press charges, and that's when they arrested him.
Derek Wynn was detained by Memphis police until Collierville police arrived to take him to jail, where he was booked and charged with theft of property.
I take my car to the dealership because I trust the dealership, but this is where I'm at. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting outside TJ Mulligan's because he's outside joyriding on a date with somebody else in my car.
And drinking, according to court records obtained by WREG, the CPD officer wrote Derek Wynn was intoxicated when he was taken into custody as he had the odor of intoxicating beverages emanating from him.
God forbid he had a wreck or kill someone. He was drinking.
Then, Porter says, things went from bad to worse when a representative from the dealership called her the following day and said her car was ready and she needed to pick it up immediately.
They literally told me if you don't have our loaner vehicle back here by 6 o'clock, we'll report it stolen.
And Porter says that was after they asked her to drop the charges against Wynn.
He said that we really need you to drop these charges against our employee. He's a really good kid. I said, excuse me?
Porter says she pressed to find out why Wynn was in her car after hours. She said the general sales manager told her repair orders signed by customers authorized technicians to drive the vehicles to diagnose the problem, and it's something they do all the time.
You do what all the time? You drive people's cars all the time? You bar hop all the time? Like, that, it's not okay. He wasn't just test driving it to see if it was working. He was out over 5 hours.
In addition to the theft charge, Wynn is also facing a civil case filed by Porter against him and the dealership. Kevin Snider is her attorney.
Do you have concerns that Kim isn't the only person this possibly could have happened to?
Oh, absolutely. When you have a dealership stand behind what, in my opinion, is criminal behavior of an employee, there's no question in my mind that this has occurred before.
Snider also has some advice for all consumers taking their car in for repairs.
I would caution anybody that puts their car in any facility, find out what the details are. Make a specific instruction when you get there. Say, hey, I don't want you driving my car unless you call me first.
I just feel like if I didn't have my third-party GPS, I would have never known.
Now, Porter told us she actually never signed a repair order because her car was towed to the dealership. We reached out to Collierville Mercedes to ask about their policy, if Wynn was still employed, and get some other answers. The general sales manager, Harold Williams, said they're unable to respond because it's an active case, but, quote, once the case is settled and we have more details, we will be more than happy to address your concerns. Investigating for your news leader, Zanetta Lowe, WREG News Channel 3.
So there's her story. While I talked with Kevin today, we came across a couple of things that, you know, if you're going to take your car in to be serviced, make sure that, one, take a picture of the mileage, and two, if it has to be driven, and we know that most times if it's some type of engine, transmission, rear end problem or this, that, and the other, they're going to have to drive the vehicle once the repairs start or once they get it completely repaired and this, that, and the other. Other times that they might take it home, and it should be noted on the service paper that you sign and authorize them to, is if, say you take the vehicle to a service department on a Friday with an idling problem or something like that, say it's cold outside or it's extremely hot outside, as long as you know that the service technician is going to take it to their house if they're not open on a Saturday or something like that, so they can take it home or drive it back to the shop on Saturday to see how it acts whenever they crank it up. So it just, my opinion is it just doesn't happen at Mercedes. Okay. It's of my opinion that it probably happens a lot of places. Let's get into the podcast from this morning with Kevin Snider. Today we're talking to Kevin Snider, and let me bring this next scene up. That's not it. Kevin Snider is the principal at Snider and Horner PLLC. A little bit about Kevin. He founded Snider and Horner in 1996, and since that time he's overseen the firm's continued growth and expansion from an office of 2 attorneys to an office of 9 employees with 4 attorneys. He concentrates his practice where he started as a new attorney representing local Memphis and Shelby County consumers who are defrauded by business or individuals. He is also active and experienced litigation attorney in both civil and criminal matters. In his spare time, Kevin is either training with the Fayette County Technical Rescue Squad, a regional volunteer rescue squad, as its commander, or relaxing by the pool with his son, fiance, and their 2 dogs, Stella and Tula. And it's a little chilly today to be by the pool, but let's bring on Kevin. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself and about your practice and where people, and when we get close to the end, we can tell people where you're located and your socials and things like that.
Fair enough. Well, I've been doing this, as you mentioned, since 1996. I've since retired from volunteer emergency services. I'm getting a little too old for that now. That's a young man's game. Did that all the way back through college, even before I became an attorney, because I think I'm probably the only licensed firefighter and attorney in the state when I was doing it. And then I got
Oh, wow.
But that's how we got into, we represent like the firefighter union, that type of thing. So it kind of plays into that well, because I like to help fellow first responders anyway. But yeah, we've been doing this a long time. I do primarily consumer protection law, which encompasses kind of a wide range of cases, including what we're getting ready to talk about. Anytime somebody's getting ripped off or defrauded, that's what I do.
Awesome. So I saw this story on Facebook, and I think it came from WREG is who I don't know if they broke the story, but they had the biggest I guess episode or whatever about Miss Porter and her incident. And I know you can't talk about everything while it's, but we will talk about everything that you can.
Sure.
But so how did Miss Porter get in touch with you?
She was referred to me by another attorney, which is typically how I get most of my business. We don't really advertise, if you will, but there's not a lot of attorneys in particular in Memphis that do consumer protection laws.
Okay.
I would say 95% of my business comes from either former clients, but more importantly, other attorneys, judges, anybody that knows what we do.
Right. Yeah, I've got a small business. I do metal work. I've been a metal worker for 36 years, and I don't really advertise except for on Facebook. I mean, I'll post my pictures and things like that on Facebook or whatever, but probably 99.9% of my work comes from word of mouth, and it's very reliable that way.
And honestly, that's how you get the best people in terms of referrals. I mean, if I don't do a particular area of the law and I have a client in that, I'll reach out to somebody that I know and trust in that area, and they will direct me where to go. And usually you can't go wrong with that.
Right. So Kimberly came with you, as the story goes, and I'll air that. I borrowed that from WREG on YouTube, but and I'll show it tonight. But as the story goes, she apparently got some bad gas, and I know most of those high-end cars take high-octane gas. I mean, I don't think you're ever supposed to put like 87 octane in a Mercedes. My wife used to have an older Mercedes, and all she put in it was Ultimate. but you can get bad gas anywhere in Memphis. It doesn't matter if it's it doesn't matter if it's 87 or 89.
And as long as you catch it early and it's not too bad, it's usually not a big issue. It's more so flushing the tank and doing whatever they need with high performance engines.
Right, right. So she had the car. She had issues on the interstate, I guess, and had the car towed to Mercedes of Collierville.
Correct.
So
and that's where she regularly serviced it before this.
Is she a Memphis resident?
She is.
Okay, okay. Yeah, a friend of mine that lives across the street is actually a salesman at Mercedes of Memphis over here on Poplar. But he sells. He's not in the service department or anything like that. So she takes it to Mercedes, carry it off from there.
Well, she had it towed in. Then after that, they communicated by telephone. She was wondering, originally what was taking so long, because something like this really shouldn't take that long. And time went by, they did put her in a loaner, so it wasn't that big of a deal at the time. And then everything just remained quiet for a while. Very little updates on what was going on. And then what I call the night happened.
So she gets the first ping, I guess, from her third party app, and you told me that it's spelled capital RECOV capital R. And doing a little bit of research on it, it says that Mercedes does not officially offer that third party app.
That's correct.
So do you know where she actually got the app from?
I do not, but I think she got it because obviously it's Memphis and you want to be able to keep track of your car.
Right.
And equally important, I think she wanted the private capabilities, and as I understand it, it's a little cheaper than the Mercedes app, if you will, or whatever tracking device they have. I know I drive a Chevy truck and I've got OnStar, so it's basically the Mercedes version of that. And they can be expensive monthly, whereas this is a little bit cheaper and does the same thing.
Right. So she gets the first ping, probably, what was it, like closing time at Mercedes, about 5? All right, this Recover app that I've got scrolling across the screen, you just look it up. I'm looking at the, let me see. Let me go over here to this. Make sure I've still got, there you go. The Recover app is a wireless vehicle theft recovery and management system that uses a GPS device and a mobile app to help owners track and recover stolen vehicles. It boasts a 91% recovery rate, allowing users to share live locations with law enforcement, receive alerts for unauthorized movements, and locate parked cars. So it sounds like a pretty good app. I've not checked into what the cost of that is yet. But they obviously, let's see, I'm trying to think, Mercedes does not offer this. Mercedes has one called My Mercedes or Mercedes Me or something like that. And as the story will go along, Kevin will tell you that, and it's probably true for most vehicles that have trackers and this, that, and the other. Of course, when they're doing stuff dealing with electrical and this, that, and the other, they always disconnect the battery. So everything's going to be offline. But if you don't have to disconnect the battery to do electrical work, why would you disable the app ever? So I don't know if she's had any issues before, and that's why she got a third-party tracker, but she may have. And once this is all over and the court case is finished, I plan on getting Kevin and Kimberly on the show again and find out what the results were and find out exactly more about this Recover app. Not that I need it, but if you have a high-end car, it might be well worth looking into. 5 o'clock or so, 5:30?
I believe so. It was sometime in the range of a business hour. on a Friday night, as I recall. And, she didn't think a whole lot about it, that maybe
Right.
they were actually test driving it or doing something with it.
Right.
Kind of didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it at that time.
Right. And then she said she got the second ping later that evening. I think she said she was in bed with the second ping and pulled up the app, and her Mercedes C300 is at J. Alexander's.
Yes, which that's when it starts what I would call a sequence of very bizarre incidents. At first, if you see you got your car in the shop at Mercedes-Benz in Collierville on a Friday, and then Friday night you see it ping at J. Alexander's, which, as you know, is up by Wolf Chase Galleria.
Right.
That's quite a distance, and why would it be there, obviously?
Right.
So she was thinking, at that time, all right, it's a little unnerving, but maybe the thing's just malfunctioning. She goes to J. Alexander's a lot, so she was thinking, well, maybe it's reverting back to something from the past where she had been there or something like that. So again, concerned, starting to get alert, but nothing to freak out about yet.
Right. And then she gets the final ping at like midnight or 12:30 at TJ Mulligan's in Cordova. And
yeah,
go ahead.
And that's when she just started, for lack of a good legal term, freaking out. Because obviously the car is on the move. Obviously, this isn't something that should be occurring. It's not a malfunction in the GPS tracker. It's at another bar, or TJ Mulligan's in Cordova, which likewise is nowhere near, Mercedes-Benz Collierville. So at that point, she thinks somebody stole her car.
Right.
So she
go ahead and called the police from that point?
Not from that point. She did probably what the rest of us would do. Well, maybe on a Friday night, get up out of bed and drive up there.
Okay.
So she physically goes up there, gets her other set of keys, because she has obviously 2 key fobs for the Mercedes.
Right.
And actually locates her vehicle in the parking lot at TJ Mulligan's, puts the key fob up to it, and yes, that's her car.
Oh, wow.
So at that point, she's thinking somebody had stolen her car and is using it. So she wanted to back off, because nobody was in the car at the time she did that. So she backed up, in the loaner, kind of farther away from where it was, and then contacted Memphis Police Department through their as I understand it, the non-emergency number.
Non-emergency number, yeah.
Then at that point, obviously, officers responded. They wanted to see her ID at that point, try her key fob. They showed her that. They located, they opened it, got in the vehicle, found a coat inside the vehicle with a passport. And they asked her if this was hers, and she said, absolutely not. And then that's when it even got more bizarre, because one of the officers told her at that time, well, I know this guy. He's a mechanic at Mercedes-Benz Collierville.
Wow.
Then, they sent her back to her car to be away from the scene for obvious safety reasons. And for lack of a better word, went inside and arrested the individual.
And so was he allegedly drunk, or was he drunk?
Well, obviously we don't know, but I know in the Collierville police report, they did note he was intoxicated, as we also understand it. He was with a female companion at the time. That would have been interesting to be a fly on the wall.
Oh, absolutely.
Then at that point, as I understand it, the Memphis Police Department contacted Mercedes. They told her that they talked to one of the managers there and said he didn't have permission to be there. And at that point, they formally took him into custody, and then obviously had to wait on Collierville, because that's who would have the criminal jurisdiction for the actual theft charges of theft over $10,000.
Right, since the car was taken from Collierville, correct?
Right. So she had to sit there, I think, for quite a period of time waiting for Collierville to get there. Memphis transfer him to Collierville, then they take him to Collierville jail, and then go from there.
Well, at least it was on the weekend and not, a weekday where she had to go back to work the next day.
Yeah.
But still, so I'm going to pull this other scene up because I don't know if I saw it from your post first or if other people had posted it, but you got this. Oh, let me get you up in the scene.
What I call the ad, but
yeah,
that comes a little later. There's a little more to the story before we get to that.
Okay.
Well, basically, after, he's arrested, book process, post the bail.
If you notice this ad, which is no longer on Mercedes of Collierville, because I searched for it earlier today and yesterday, it's gone. It basically is saying, since we're receiving so much attention, they're offering discounts if the first 10 people, I think it said first 10 people, or 10 people do this, or 10 people do that, making money, which he'll explain a little bit later in the video, making money off of this lady's misfortune, making money off of the victim by posting this ad. Like I said, it's no longer on their Facebook page, and we'll get into that just a little bit more here shortly.
Obviously, the next day, she starts communications with the management at Collierville Mercedes.
Right.
That's when it gets even more bizarre, because they talk about, well, he's a great kid, a great mechanic. You really need to drop these charges. And she basically told him, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not doing that. And they said, well, you gave him permission to test drive the vehicle. And she said, well, one, I didn't sign anything because the car was towed in. But
right.
Even assuming for the sake of argument I did, that wouldn't entitle him to go out on a date or whatever he was doing on a Friday night and basically go bar hopping.
Right.
So this dispute kind of got worse with management. And then they told her, well, your vehicle's done now, so you need to bring our loaner car back. And if it's not back by 6 o'clock, we're going to press criminal charges against you for stealing our loaner car.
Now, was that on a Monday? Was that following Monday?
I can't remember if it was over the weekend or Monday, either way, but I believe it was Monday, and I'm saying this off the top of my head. So obviously, She was concerned at that point of, well, one, why are you defending this guy? And two, now you're threatening to put me in jail and drop the charges. And
that's crazy.
Yeah. So then that's kind of where we got involved. Long story short, she did ultimately make it there before their deadline of where they would press charges against her. Picked up the car, and ironically, the check engine light or whatever warning she had on it was still on the car. So she had to take the vehicle somewhere else, thinking it hadn't been fixed at all.
Right.
The good news is it appears to have been fixed. They just forgot to reset the light, but she had to pay another mechanic about $300 to finish it up, so to speak.
So will you include that $300 in your suit again?
I mean, outside of the loss of use and everything else, I mean,
right.
For a crazy scene, it could have been much worse, or had a much worse outcome. I mean, if this guy had gotten in a wreck or hurt somebody, she would be sued too.
Absolutely. I mean, because it's her vehicle. So he's out, if he was out and killed somebody, he's in her car. Somebody's got the right to sue her because she owns the car, the dealership because they had the car, and this guy because he was crazy for doing stuff like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, once that all occurred, then at that point, she came and saw me, and, I was kind of dumbfounded of hearing this sequence of events.
I bet.
Normally when something like this happens, the first thing the dealership is going to do is say, look, we didn't know anything about it. basically under the law, it's called a third party intervening criminal act, where if somebody engaged in criminal behavior, the dealership's not responsible for it, because I've
Right.
done several of those like that before. And then it's kind of like, well, do you really want to pursue it? But when she actually presented me all this stuff, and she was what I call a very good and thorough client before she became a client, because she recorded these phone calls with the management.
Awesome.
So she's got the evidence to back up what she's saying.
Right.
And, then I was like, at that point, all right, well, I guess the dealership is going all in on this, so we will sue the dealership as well. And then after that, story runs on Channel 3.
Right.
And then we have what I call this ad come up, which
Let's pull
was
the
my,
ad back. There you go.
yeah. And it's like, I think this came out, I don't remember if it was a Friday afternoon or Saturday. I just remember I was sitting down somewhere and I saw this thing pop up in the feed, and I was like, oh my. That's gotta be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And at this point, they are a defendant in a civil lawsuit.
Okay.
I had literally just talked to their attorney, a day or two before, getting her up to speed, because she didn't know a whole lot about it. Told her about it, and I know, she's at a reputable law firm. I know she knew nothing about this, because I would fire a client if they did that. You're a defendant in a lawsuit, and you're basically just making fun of it, saying it's no big deal.
Right. Has anybody? I'm wondering if anybody's made a call to like Mercedes USA, and shown it's no longer on their Facebook page, because I scrolled through their Facebook page. They've taken it down.
Yeah, once I found it, obviously I screenshotted it, and then we started showing it, because I was like, all right, well, this is going to be an exhibit certainly when we get to trial, because so long as the defense that the dealership would have had of, well, we don't condone this type of behavior. Not only are they condoning it, they're supporting it. Now they're trying to market and profit of it. Of, hey, you come in and buy or service a car, show us the post, which I'm referring to the Channel 3 post of the story that was shared on our page.
Right.
And you get a deal. I was like, how callous and indifferent can you be to customers or for customer service to put something like that out there?
I know I don't get it. I mean, you're going to try to make money off of somebody's, problem that y'all caused, and then you're going to add insult to injury by doing something like that. I think if I was their social media person, they'd be looking for a new job.
Yeah, I mean, I think the term doubling down doesn't give it enough credit.
No.
I mean, that's the stupidest thing. I mean, it's basically giving the middle finger, if you will, to a good customer who you did wrong to.
Right.
And I don't understand it. I mean, I understand assuming their position is, I guess, I mean, I don't know, because we haven't been to court yet, will be, well, you gave us permission to test drive this car, which, assuming she had signed something and assuming that would be an accurate statement, that would be normal.
Right.
But that is reasonable in time, reasonable in scope. That would be like going around the block at the Collierville Mall by the Collierville Mercedes, limited very much in scope. I mean, this guy drove almost 50 miles to a bar, restaurant, then to a bar, apparently, that's tell on a date, and was drinking. I mean, you're clearly not test driving this car to see if your inspection worked. And equally important, it appears that they do this all the time, because that's what they told Miss Porter.
All right, check this out. I'm going to pull this up. Let's see if that'll come on up. There we go. It is relatively uncommon for dealership staff to use customer vehicles for personal errands, as this is typically a fireable offense without permission. However, technicians often drive customers' cars home for shakedown or overnight testing to diagnose issues that only occur after extended driving, which is standard practice, but should involve client notification. Legitimate testing for complex drivability issues. A technician taking a car home to duplicate symptoms is considered normal, legitimate troubleshooting. So, say after the car has sat there cold for a while, and the issue only happens driving an extended period of time, the people at Mercedes of Collierville could actually take it up and down 385 a few times. Maybe drive it down to Forest Hill, Irene, go the back way, come back, and get back to the dealership. I guess that would be plenty of time to heat it up pretty good. Or on a cold day, maybe it happens on a cold start, like I was talking about earlier. Unauthorized use. While rare, unauthorized use of customers' cars for personal business can occur, which is a major policy violation, but it is not standard operating procedure. No kidding. Really? Hey, boss, I got to impress this date tonight. I'm going to take that lady's C300 AMG out to nice dinner at J. Alexander's, and then we're going to go get some drinks at TJ Mulligan's. But I'll have it back tomorrow, I promise. So the best practices is reputable dealerships typically ask for permission and advise the customer that the car will be driven home overnight for diagnosis. Like I said, if you're going to take your car to a dealership, take a picture of the mileage, take pictures of the outside of the car, inside of the car. That way you can document anything out of the ordinary when you go pick it back up. All right, back to this.
Not just with her car, with everybody's car. And that's alarming. It really is.
Well, I mean, like I said, I've done a little bit of research, and one of the things that I came across was, and I'll introduce it tonight, but I'll say it right now, that there are times, of course, one of the first things you should do is write your mileage down and keep that, or take a picture of the mileage on your vehicle. Keep that. If you have to sign something, sign it, take a picture of that. And obviously, you said earlier that Mercedes had turned off their tracker thing on this vehicle to work it, correct?
Well, I don't know if my client had hers active, but at some point she became aware or talked to them about it, and they said they normally just deactivate those of people that have the Mercedes when they're in there. Something to that effect. That way people don't freak out if their car's moving around. I'm like, what? Why? You're paying for that service, but if this is something that you or all your mechanics or all your employees just at the end of the work day, they go around and pick out clients' cars to drive for the night or for the weekend. In this case, it would have been.
Right.
That's insane. I mean, that's not test driving the car to see if the repair worked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, one of the things that I read was there are times when they may take the car home with them in order to like on a cold start to see if it's the problem is caused on a cold start or on a hot day on a hot start or something like that. But that's the only time, and it's usually signed off on by the client, by the car owner, because I mean, if anything happens on that drive between the dealership and their house, I mean, even if it is legit, the dealership's going to be responsible if that car gets wrecked.
Right. But you're also going to be responsible because your name's on the title and registration.
Right.
You gave them permission to do it. And that would be a normal and customary way to do it. You know, I've seen cases and actually have done cases where, say, clients having an engine or a transmission problem.
Right.
And they're out test driving it, to make sure whatever they did worked. And then lo and behold, where I come in, the vehicle gets in a wreck. I mean, that's not unusual, especially in business.
Oh, well, yeah.
But the issue at that point isn't so much about whether you were using it lawfully or unlawfully. The issue is, all right, who caused the accident?
Right. Do you know if that guy, his name is Derek Gwynn, correct? Correct.
That's how you pronounce it. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I used to wonder how you pronounce that name because it starts with an N. But yeah, more on the somebody driving the vehicle when they're not authorized to. This is from Reddit. This guy, dealership using my car for personal trips while being serviced. He said he left his car at a dealership 10 days ago for engine repairs and was told told it would just sit in their lot for about a week while waiting on the parts. He kept a Samsung Smart tag, stashed in the car, and last Thursday it showed the vehicle at a hospital parking garage at 10 p.m., which is 4 miles away, I'm guessing from the dealership. Saturday it was tracked to a nearby McDonald's at 9:30 p.m. and Monday it was tracked to a nearby mall at 6:30 p.m. I think Kevin stated earlier, or he'll state in a little bit later, that because of this one story, he's getting calls all over the country for people to come in and to see if he'll represent them and things like this. Here's one. Buddy of mine left his truck at the dealer for the weekend. It had a cold start issue. Seems like there's a lot of cold start issues. The next night at 3 a.m., he gets woken up by the police wanting to know why his truck was the vehicle being driven during a drug stop. And the person had enough drugs in there where he was charged with trafficking. He told the cops, I left it at the dealer for a cold start issue. Turns out one of the service riders took his truck home and then went to go buy cocaine with it. That dealership really took it up but for that incident. So it's crazy. It's crazy. It's Gwen. I think it's like Vietnamese or Korean or something like that. I forget which one it is, but yeah, that's how it's pronounced, Gwen. And do you know if he made bail? Did he bail out, bond out, or?
Yes, our understanding is he did, and at least according to what my client was able to find out, the dealership is the one that bailed him out, and he still is working there.
They must really like this guy.
Or he must be one hell of a mechanic that you would jeopardize that kind of financial liability and basically put yourself under the bus, if you will.
Right.
If you lose this thing, you're going right down with it.
Oh, exactly. So that's why I'm saying I'm just wondering if Mercedes America or USA or however they go about it knows. Surely they know about this story.
I would think so. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we haven't contacted them. We're focused on our civil claim. I would assume he's focused on mainly his criminal defense because he's got felony pending charges in Collierville that are still pending. Obviously we can't have anything to do with that. And I know Mr. Porter, I don't think has made a complaint, but since this story aired, I've done a lot of high profile cases over 30 years. This is oddly one of the largest cases. I mean, I've gotten calls from people in Boston, Texas, Vegas, California. Hey, this happened to me. Can you come out here and represent me? I'm like, no. I mean, what? I'm sorry, but yeah, I practice here in Memphis in West Tennessee. So
right. It's crazy. It's I'll pull it up. Let's see. There was a thing on Reddit, and the guy said, I left my car at a dealership 10 days ago for engine repairs and told it would just sit in their lot. Now, with her car, she dropped it. She did drop it off. It was picked up in December.
Yeah.
When did the event occur with him taking on his date joyride?
Yeah, I believe it was mid-January. I think it was January 19th. So, I mean, it honestly begs the question, and we don't know the answer to that yet, of, all right, if you drop it off in December, what happened to this car during that month? I mean, was it just sitting there, or were they using it? I mean, we would presume not because her tracker was working then, but why would it be sitting there for a month?
Right. That's a good question. I mean, were they waiting on parts? I mean, I can understand if they had to order the parts and the part had to come from Germany,
Yeah.
or something like that. But just to have the car sitting there that long, and then she gets it back, and you did say it was kind of a glitch. Maybe they fixed it, but they hadn't reset the computer.
Yeah. Or it makes you wonder, was it fixed like 3 weeks ago and somebody was waiting to take it out and use it? I mean, it begs more questions than answers. And it even gets a little weirder than that, because since that story has kind of taken a life of its own, we've heard from a friend of his.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the extent of their friendship.
All right, this is where it gets even wilder. As if it wasn't enough that the guy takes a date to impress, I'm assuming, a girlfriend, to J. Alexander's for a nice meal, and then to TJ Mulligan's for drinks using this lady's car. And then she finds it. He's in there, and TJ Mulligan's getting drunk. Wait till this bomb drops. This is going to be a trip.
Female friend of his, who's no longer a friend of his, who sent us a copy of his Snapchat video
that he did while he had the car.
No.
Oh, okay.
Best we can tell, looking at it and talking to her, this was the next day at work, or somewhere in that time frame after he was arrested for stealing Miss Porter's car.
Oh my gosh, man!
This Snapchat video. You ready for this?
Go ahead, lay it on me.
I don't think you're ready for it. I wasn't when she contacted our office. What car shall I steal today? As he's walking around the Mercedes-Benz parking lot and pointing at cars. You see a Porsche, lots of nice cars. And he arrives on, ironically, another black Mercedes, because when I first saw it, I was thinking it was Miss Porter's car, but it's not.
Right.
It looks very similar. That's the one for tonight. I'm like, what the hell? I said, did you learn nothing from this? And that, to me, that video, I mean, it's no audio. It's about 7-8 seconds long. Is going to be damning, in my humble opinion, when we get to trial. This must be so rampant out there that you just do this all the time. Everybody picks a car, goes home for the night. I mean, what the hell?
So y'all have the video.
We do.
All righty then. That's just crazy.
It's going to come out between now. We go to court for our first setting on Thursday. We're going to be asking the judge for a trial date, probably. Right now we're in sessions court because we were thinking originally this was going to be a fairly simplistic, quick and easy thing. The dealership's going to fire him, say we didn't know anything about it.
Right.
You reach some type of small settlement, but given their behavior and given what we've uncovered, we anticipate, regardless of what happens in sessions court, we intend to go to circuit court, get a jury trial, and do it up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because like you said, if he's out here doing this, takes her car and then does that on Instagram. Is that what you say, Instagram or YouTube or Snapchat? Oh, okay.
I don't have a Snapchat account, but as I understand it, you can only send it to people and then the video disappears.
Right.
But, obviously, I don't know what happened, where they got in a disagreement. She was not the female with him that night.
Oh.
So I'm guessing. Probably,
maybe she's the jilted lover.
I'm guessing this is, a situation of a woman scorned, and that would take it to a whole other level that you would call up the attorney's office that's suing your ex-friend, whatever the relationship is, in sentence.
Right.
she's willing to come testify in court. I mean, it's like, so I'm reading between the lines. I'm guessing she didn't know he was on a date that night with somebody else, and obviously was very upset about that.
Right. Right.
Shows a whole nother level of deception on his part, but issue for another day.
Do you know how long he's been employed by Mercedes of Collierville?
I don't. We can find very little about him. I know Miss Lowe at Channel 3, kudos to her. She is what I would call a very smart consumer investigator. I know she's digging in a lot.
Okay, so she's still doing research on it as well.
Oh yeah, she's planning on doing a follow-up piece here soon.
Okay.
Actually talked to the person that sent us the Snapchat video as well. So I think we're going to have a lot more details being dropped soon by Channel 3, which ought to be interesting.
Okay.
And given their previous response to the first story, I'm not sure what to expect out of Mercedes Collierville on the next one. Are we going to have a bigger ad, a bigger offer? What are we doing?
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Show the Snapchat video and get $10,000 off this $150,000 car.
I don't know how you explain that.
I don't either.
This was a joke. I mean, it's not a joke because it really happened. You know, even if it wasn't of her particular car, but the fact that you're out filming a Snapchat video on a Mercedes lot as a Mercedes-Benz Collierville employee that literally is across the screen. What car shall I steal today? That's not a good look under any stretch of the imagination. And in my opinion, something a judge or a jury is going to crucify you for.
Oh, and Mercedes of Collierville as well for keeping this guy employed. And I mean, because basically they're agreeing with all of this. I mean, they're not doing anything to head this off or anything like that, are they?
Yeah, or they just don't care. I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, if they treat customers like that, and maybe that's why it's such a big story. I think a lot of people can relate with it. And Mercedes-Benz, you know, like Mercedes-Benz Corporate North America, they spend a lot of money to build an image.
Right.
And these are not cheap cars. Even their smallest used models are not cheap cars. And they're just destroying the Mercedes name by these type of actions instead of just saying, look, our employee was wrong. He's been fired. What can we do to make this right with you?
Right.
You know, she doesn't even want the car anymore. And,
Oh, she doesn't?
no, I mean, she is one of those, Miss Porter I'm referring to,
Yes.
way into cars, much more so than me. I mean, she actually names her cars.
Yeah, my wife does the same thing.
Be, you know, the kind of person that probably if you leave a wrapper or a cup in the car will just yell at you.
Right.
You know,
right.
that type of meticulous maintenance. And, you know, it freaks her out now because one, she doesn't know what happened to her car during that month. She doesn't know what happened in or around her car that night till the police got there.
Right. Right. Well, didn't she name the car in the car's name Onyx?
Something to that effect. Yeah, I forget what the name is. She has a different name for each car that she has because I think this is her third or fourth Mercedes. But she's looking at not even owning a Mercedes anymore, like looking at something else. That's how that bothered her.
I mean,
she violated. I mean, honestly, it's kind of like when somebody breaks in your house.
Right. Well, so the pre-trial or whatever it is this Thursday?
It's the first setting. We're in civil court, so basically it's where each side shows up or their attorney shows up.
Right.
And then the judge decides, all right, what are we doing? Do we want to continue it for a brief period of time to allow you to talk about settlement, or you just want to get a trial date? And our position is, at least in Sessions Court, because it's kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with Sessions Court. It's
No, I'm not.
Tennessee doesn't have a small claims court, but it's similar to that. If we had one, you can sue there up to $25,000, which is what she's asking for. And, you know, there's no typically discovery, depositions, any of that stuff. It's bench trial. So we'll just probably set it for trial, see what happens. And then each side from a general sessions trial has an automatic right to appeal it to circuit court, which has unlimited jurisdiction. Then you do depositions, discovery, juries, but then judge or jury gets unlimited discretion at that point. So.
Right. And obviously, this guy doesn't need to be working for a dealership or any place like that. I mean, I don't know how much jail time would help him, because he's emboldened to put it on a Snapchat. Now, for a time I did have Snapchat, and they do disappear, but if they send it to you, you've got just a short bit of time to save it and keep it and keep it. And obviously that's what she did with
unfortunately for him, that's what happened. And I mean, ultimately, it's hard to say,
right.
Collierville, obviously, unless they reach some type of criminal deal between him and his attorney and the prosecutor out there,
right.
Normally what happens, it would be bound over to Memphis and Shelby County criminal court, and then Attorney General Mulroy would take over the case at that point. And, who knows? Would they prosecute it? Would he get a deal? I mean, who knows?
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll just leave it at that with District Attorney Mulroy.
That's a whole separate show.
That is a whole separate show, or 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to believe when you have something that obvious, it should be a fairly easy conviction.
Right. A slam dunk, basically.
In my world as an attorney, yes. I don't do a whole lot of criminal law, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess one of the issues I have with the word alleged is that if there are eyewitnesses, or there's video evidence, or in this case, the tracker going up to the TJ Mulligan's, finding the vehicle, opening the vehicle. I mean, all of this, and then you got him doing a Snapchat video and this, that, and the other I mean, it's not alleged anymore. He's obviously done this.
I mean, to me, the only issue for trial, from my perspective,
yes, sir.
I'm a little biased because I represent the plaintiff, would be there's no issue that you took the car. There's no issue that you used the car. There's no issue that it was purportedly, maybe, or allegedly, possibly for personal use. But I think the fact of Collierville police notating in the report that you were intoxicated, I don't think you can make a legitimate argument that this wasn't for personal use, especially if you have somebody with you.
Right.
In that time of day. So, I mean, really the only issue is what lawful defense do you have to doing this? And the fact if you're alleging a test drive, that's almost laughable. That I would love to see the judges or the jury's face if that's the defense you're going to make.
Right.
And
do you think it'll go that far? Or you think they'll play out?
Well, in terms of the criminal, I don't know. The civil, I doubt we're going to reach some type of settlement.
Right.
I mean, given I was optimistic before the ad when I talked to their attorney, but I don't think at this point with the ad and them not taking this seriously, I don't think the civil case is going to settle because, not only Ms. Porter's upset about it, I take it personally. Because
absolutely.
When you see something like that, it's almost like they're making fun of the lawsuit, saying this is stupid, this is frivolous, look, this ambulance chaser attorney. And it's like anybody that knows me and the work I've done in the past 30 years, I don't play. I wouldn't take the case if I thought it was BS.
Right.
It's a solid case that, in my opinion, has a hugely, maybe we can say that, the chance of failing. And otherwise I wouldn't have done it. But the fact that you're making fun of it, you're questioning my integrity as a consumer protection attorney when I know what I believe we can prove.
Right.
And I know what kind of liability you could have on a case like this. Because, I mean,
yes.
The real damages are going to be the punitive damages side of what does a judge or a jury, how do they want to punish him and the dealership financially?
Right.
And that number, at least based upon the reactions we've got literally all across the nation, could be a huge number.
Right. Yeah, that could become Kimberly Porter Mercedes of Collierville.
Nick Saban to come down, take it over, but because he owns a bunch of those.
Well, I mean, it's just, basically that ad that they put up is a middle finger, not only to you, not only to Kimberly, but all of their clients, their people that go into Mercedes of Collierville and to buy a vehicle. Because if they shut off the tracker, the one that they provide to work on the vehicle, then the customer has no idea what's being done to their car if they don't have what Miss Porter had.
Yeah. And, even if they did, it's the fact that you would treat a customer like that,
right,
with the name Mercedes attached to it. I've just never seen anything like it. And I think that's why it's gotten so much traction everywhere. I think it's something people can relate to. But when you hold yourself to a pedestal of being, well, we're one of the premier auto manufacturers in the world, and then you treat people like that after they pay you a ridiculous amount of money, for granted, it's a good quality product.
Right.
You don't treat people like that if you want to have repeat customers.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, my wife had it was her dream car. It was like a 2003, I think, convertible Mercedes. It was the coupe. It was the I think the SEL 500. So it had the big V8 in it. It was fun to drive. But I mean, anytime that you had to have work done on it, I mean, a bolt costs $500.
Yeah,
so,
and you're part from Germany or wherever it may have to come from.
Right. So
I mean, maybe cool. I've never had one, but it might be cool to have a Porsche or a Ferrari, but I don't want them to pay to maintain.
No, absolutely not. I'll keep my 2013 GMC pickup.
All right, well, that's about all I got. So
okay, well,
you got something
Kev,
else?
no, that's it pretty much. Kevin, I appreciate you coming on and discussing this with me. And if you can, let your client, Miss Porter, know that this will be on Facebook Live tonight, and it'll be on there for about 15 to 30 days, I think, or whatever. And I'll shoot you in your emails where she can go and watch it. It'll also be on Rumble. If you don't have a Rumble account, then you'd have to set up a Rumble account. The Rumble accounts are free, but that's where I record everything too, is Facebook Live and Rumble. But I do. Go ahead.
We appreciate you. I mean, as a consumer protection attorney, I'm always trying to get things out there to help consumers educate themselves,
right,
to prevent becoming victims. And
right,
in this situation, I don't know there's anything Ms. Porter or anybody else could have done to prevent it from occurring to begin with. And
right, exactly. Well, I would. I mean, anytime that you have something that you would like to discuss or whatever, whatever it is or whatever, just reach out to me and we'll do this again. I mean, most of the time, like I said, most of the time, the political side and things like that are at Monday nights at 7:00. And they usually last anywhere from about an hour and 15, hour and 30 or something like that. So I'll give you the information. Where can people find you?
Our office is located in Germantown. You can go to kevinsnider.com. That's our website. There's contact forms on there, or you can call our office at 901-751-3777. So you usually can just call and schedule an appointment. I'm in court almost every day. Ironically, the courts are closed today in Shelby County, so we're
right
to be able to take this morning.
Well, good deal. Kevin, I appreciate your time, and you take care, Miss Porter. And I don't know, this is one of the wildest stories I've seen in a long time. And if it's one of the wildest ones you've ever seen, then you must have seen some stuff before.
I've seen some wild things, and this is by far the number one. And I don't think we're done this ride yet either. I think there's more coming out, and time will tell. But I've been surprised so far on this case. And when I saw the Snapchat, that was surprise after the ad. I think there's more coming that we don't know yet.
All right. Yeah, I mean, because they're liable to just take his phone and go through his phone. after that little deal. All right,
Or,
Kev.
or we get to hear whoever he was at Mulligan's with. That would be an interesting. Whoever he went to Mulligan's with, that ought to be an interesting conversation.
Absolutely. Well, maybe we'll hear that later. Kevin, I appreciate your time. You have a great day, and thank you for coming on Off the Cuff on the Bluff.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right.
Well, there you have it. This is his website, kevinsnider.com. And as I showed you before, I played the ticker across the page or whatever. He's in Germantown. He does work in Tennessee and Mississippi. I would think northern Mississippi. Phone number right here. And check him out. If you've got a consumer issue, and I'm not getting paid for this yet, I'm gonna start seeing about getting people that would sponsor Off the Cuff on the Bluff. That'd be great. But a few other things. Like I said, the Recover app, theft recovery instantly active tracking, share live locations with police, and get alerts when the vehicle is moved. Now, we don't know whether her Mercedes app was active at the time. Obviously, it wasn't active at the dealership, but had she not had this third-party app, she wouldn't have known that her car was being used for a joyride date, allegedly. Okay, allegedly. I guess I have to keep saying that, although there's eyewitnesses and everything else. I mean, the app proves it. Says you can locate a parked vehicle. I'm 61 years old, and sometimes I forget where I'm parked, so I can find. I don't have this app either. It's got a key tracking, includes a feature to locate your lost keys. I'm going to look into it though, because I leave my keys places I don't know where they're at. Geofencing receives notifications if your car is towed or used without permission. Derek Gwynn, she's got you in her sights. And so does Kevin Snider. Like I said, Mercedes does not offer this. And I called, I think it was 901 Sounds or another car stereo security installation place here in town. They don't offer it either. They never heard of it. So I don't know how she found out about the app, but yes, Mike Parsons, it's Recover, RECOV, capital R, app. And this is the website, who is behind Recover, why Recover, about us, solutions. That's www.recovr.biz. Let's see, if I click on that, what does it do? Okay, it tells you all about it. Find your car, find your keys, fight fraud. It looks like a pretty decent app. Now, like I said, I did not get the price on this thing. I neglected to email the guy, the company or whatever, to find out what the price was on this thing. But there's that, and there's other apps. I mean, that one guy said he put a Samsung tracker. You got the Apple tags that you can put in your car. The thieves look for those things. According to Recover, it gives you instructions on how to hide this app, how to hide the tracker so that it cannot be found, and get it up and going on the app in about 30 seconds is what it said. So it's pretty interesting. Something I'd like to look into myself. Although I don't know who's going to want my 2013 beat up GMC pickup. They got shot and somebody broke into it sitting on the street, but nobody's taken it yet. Thank goodness. Does Mercedes offer the Recover? That says Recovery app. No, Mercedes-Benz does not officially offer the Recover app or its tracking devices as a factory installed option. So key details on the Mercedes native theft recovery, stolen vehicle help, urban guard package. This service is often purchased in Mercedes Me store as part of the Urban Guard Vehicle Protection Protection Plus package. Pardon me. And you have to activate this service within the app before a theft occurs to use the feature. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time real slow. Anybody else? You must activate this service within the app before a theft occurs to use this feature. And that's when you look off this way and go, look back at the camera and you're, really? No shit, Sherlock. So anyway, Mercedes offers some things, and I guess she either didn't have the Mercedes, or she wanted extra security and she got it because this recover thing worked for her. Let's see. This news story. Yes, national news outlets and social media have widely reported on the incident where a Mercedes-Benz of Collierville technician, Derek Gwynn, was arrested for allegedly, there's that word again, using a customer's car for a date and drinking at a sports bar in January of 2026. So was her car already repaired? How long did it take to repair the car? I have not reached out to Mercedes of Collierville. I have, however, went to MB USA and filled out their form asking them if they are aware of the situation at Mercedes of Collierville and how the management there. Now, Mercedes-Benz of USA, they sell the franchises, but they do not own or franchise the one in Collierville. That one is franchised through, I guess it's pronounced Lithia Motors, Lithia Motors. It says no, Mercedes-Benz of Collierville is not owned by Mercedes-Benz USA. It is an authorized franchise dealership that was acquired by Lithia Motors, a large publicly traded automotive retailer, in June of 2025. It was previously owned by the Higginbotham family. So I hope they got a lot of money for that thing. Anyway, the dealership was acquired by Lithia Motors on June 2nd, 2025, which operates as part of their nationwide network. Franchise relationship, while not corporate owned by Mercedes-Benz USA, it is an authorized franchise that sells new Mercedes-Benz vehicles and provides OEM parts and services. Their dealership location is at 4651 South Houston Levy Road in Collierville. So I've reached out to both Lithia Motors and Mercedes-Benz USA. And as of this moment in time, I have not received anything yet. But when I do, I'll post it on the Facebook. So anyway, if you have a Mercedes or any kind of high-end car, the answer to the question, or the best thing to do, is no matter how big or small the surface is, when you take it to the dealership, take it to the mechanic, unless you absolutely know the mechanic and are good friends with a mechanic and you trust them and this, that, and the other, that's different. But if you take it to a dealership, and she's been taking her Mercedes, all the ones that she's had, to Mercedes-Benz of Collierville, when you pull up into the parking lot, get your cell phone camera out, take a picture of the mileage, take a picture of the interior of your car, take a video or take pictures walking around your car. If you have to sign any kind of waivers or any type of paperwork or this, that, and the other, showing that they will take your car off the lot to drive it to see what the issues are, or if they've got it fixed, then take a picture of that paperwork too. Keep all your receipts. We ought to know that by now. Keep all your receipts from everything. This is a crazy story. I've also reached out to Zanetta Lowe because I'd like to collab with her a little bit on this. Maybe if I get the information from Mercedes-Benz USA and Lithia Motors, if she hasn't reached out to them, then I can share that with her and shed a lot more light on this story. But this is wild. This is crazy. I why not believe it? I mean, everything else that goes on. Well, that's it for tonight, folks. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate those that commented. Mike Parsons, nice to friend you on Facebook, and appreciate you watching the show. All the others that watched the show this evening. And I'm having a lot of fun. Next week, I'm finally getting her on because she had something a little bit more important to do. She being Dee Dee Ballinger, she was invited. Her and her family were invited to the to Washington D.C. to the White House to participate in the Easter egg hunt. And if you keep up with the Dee Dee and her post from today, you saw that her son got the golden egg. So she's a trip. She's a trip. If you don't have a Rumble account, it's free. Just go to rumble.com, sign up, and look for, I'll post it throughout the week. The website, or my page is Atomic 26 Designs, and the channel is Memphis and Shelby County. The reason I keep telling and pushing y'all to go to Rumble and follow me on Rumble is because there'll be certain podcasts that Facebook, at some point in time, Facebook will not let us say certain things. And if you, I mean, of course, Dee Dee does all the time. And I haven't seen her getting in trouble yet, but I'm not taking that chance. So next Monday night, 7 o'clock, Dee Dee Ballinger, she's going to tell us all about her time with Trump in Memphis and her time with Trump and other people that she met in her family in DC over the Easter holiday. She had a great time. It looks like anyway by her videos. She's a blast. She's a trip. Let's see. Okay. Mike Parsons is telling me good night. Folks, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good evening. And I'll see you next Monday night. Y'all take care.